Hello and welcome back to Operations with Void. Forgotten Void here. Today we will be showcasing the new IJN light cruisers. Yes, the soul is leaving my body because these are absolutely terrible ships. But someone on the forum said they're great for ops, so I thought I'd try them out, and I really don't like them. But if you are free to play and you must absolutely grind out these ships to collect them all, we'll be going over how to play them. Specifically, the op that we will be doing today will be the Ultimate Frontier, which the Ultimate Frontier used to be tier 7, now it's 6 through 8. So before we go into battle, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Ultimate Frontier because it does have variable spawns. Forgive my low quality, this is the image I pulled off the wiki for Wargaming. So with the Ultimate Frontier you have two spawning locations. You have the south spawning location here and the north spawning location here. Battleships will only spawn at the north location. If you are in a division and there is only one or two battleships in your division, and there is another battleship not in your division that are in the group that you are with, then all the division battleships will spawn here with, as long as a ship in the division is not a battleship. So if you all are battleships in your division, you will all spawn in the north. If you are two battleships and one destroyer or cruiser or even aircraft carrier, you will spawn in the south. Now, I see the mistake of battleships running down to try and meet up with everybody else. That's not where battleships are supposed to go. Battleships are actually supposed to stick up here, not go further south than the repair circle. In fact, the battleship is going, one battleship should be going up to protect the aircraft. Now, there are 3 lanes of aircraft coming in. And right here you have 3 of the lanes, possible lanes, showing there is actually a 4th possible, and that is actually down here. So of these 4, 3 lanes will be chosen at random. And the very bottom, whichever the very bottom lane is, there will be no cruiser spawn. The other 2 lanes, they will be Dallas and Atlanta, as of this patch, respectively. And the Dallas and the Atlanta need to be killed before the planes show up because they will shoot down all the planes and fail the op. So as a cruiser, if there are no battleships, especially in the Shimanto, you actually might want to go up and run up and deal with the other cruisers. But usually that's going to be left for a battleship. Now as for the enemy spawns, you will have a group of 3 battleships and 1 cruiser coming in from the left. They spawn in the beginning, they spawn all the way over here, so you can't shoot them at the beginning. There will be 2 destroyers, they spawn here. All the ships at the south need to deal with these destroyers here, just battleships don't deal with them. The rest of the spawns, after these groups are dealt with, there is a carrier that spawns here, and it spawns in very early. And then, depending on how quickly you deal with the enemies down south and the cruisers up north, 2 to 4 ships, 3 of them currently are Omiclaw class and one's a Phoenix class, but 2 to 4 ships could spawn, cruisers spawn here and head north. And these are the waves before the main attack waves. Now the main attack waves are semi-random. You have 3 attack lanes, one here, and actually another one's over here. And so these are random, but you can guess which, well, you can predict which one will be coming in because the aircraft start flying to the lane before the ships spawn in. And the aircraft from the base will spot them. So you get a bit of heads up. After the first wave is defeated, and shortly after the second wave is defeated, the secondary task, Whiskey, will pop up. 3 destroyers will be coming to take care of the repair base. You have to kill them. They either spawn over here in this area, or they spawn over here. And between that time, then a little bit later, the third wave will spawn. The waves do not have a specific order in which they will spawn. It is random. However, they do not repeat. So if the left spawns first, then the second wave spawns over here. The third wave will always be middle because these 3 waves do not repeat. With one more thing, there is the Clemson destroyer. This is a punishment spawn. If any ship goes past this line here, if any ship goes past this line from the bottom spawn, then Clemson will spawn. If a battleship goes south of where the repair circle is, even just a little bit south, the Clemson will spawn. That is how you spawn the Clemson. If you actually want to fight it, that's how you spawn it. Anyways, with that, we will be going into... So, with Ultimate Frontier, I mentioned about the divs. We're actually in a div of 4 people. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. If the div members are 3 or less, do we get the spawns where the battleships spawn in the bottom. When there are 4 more people, then I believe it should be 4 more people. Or if you have 4 people and only 1 battleship. But anyways, in this case, our two battleships in our div spawned in the north, and the 2 of us in cruisers spawned in the south. So the Shimanto, it's neat, I would like to say. The turrets are interesting. The turrets, they're 306. Some of them are 360 degrees. Not all of them. I think either 3 or 4 out of the 5 are 360 degrees. Which, fun fact, you could turn your guns 360 degrees faster than you reload with these guns. Anyways, what we're doing here is we're looking for the destroyers. There's 2 of them. And with a 15-second reload, you really have to make your shots count. I'm sorry, I can be a little bit twitchy. But here we're using the island to go dark and block shots for us while we reload. And we're actually pulling back to slow down. The reason why is we're actually wanting to get our torps off at the battleships. So we're sitting and waiting while everybody else goes north. Which, as you can see, we have these airplanes are going to spawn south. The middle one is where the Dallases will spawn, and the north one is where the Atlanta will spawn. And since the Dallas will spawn pretty far south, the cruisers can actually help take care of it easily. And we already have 2 battleships going to help take care of the Atlanta when it goes in. Now, if the reload wasn't 15 seconds, the destroyers probably would have gotten away. But with 15-second reload, it's... An enemy aircraft carrier was spotted. And here I'm actually using hydro because I'm expecting torpedoes to come in. And there's the torpedoes. Which, thankfully, the destroyers launch in widespread. So there's actually going to be a gap that's about as long as our ship between these torpedoes. And if you look that I only have 50 kilometers gun range. Yeah, this is actually the stock hole. Yes, I am using the stock hole. So I'm looking, I wanted the New Mexico, but I decided to settle with the New York because the torpedoes are so slow, they wouldn't reach the New Mexico. So we send our torpedoes out. Unfortunately, I think that Mahon gets away and gets all the way up north to where our battleship is. Now, the battleship in the top left, what he's doing is he's actually trying to blind fire and shoot Ranger. Which, since the Ranger, the Raptor, yes, the same one that you save in Raptor Rescue, it's over up there. It spawns in at the beginning of the match. So yes, you can spawn kill it. And some of us do occasionally do that. It's easier with Kansas. But he's in a constellation. So you see the Dallas is already spawned in and some of the cruisers are working on it. And our torpedoes look like they're good. Yep, there's 2 torpedo hits on the New York. They hit hard, so even if you get a couple torpedo hits, it's not bad. And so we're switching our guns to the Dallas because he's the one spotting us. Another thing is the base detection on this. You can get it down pretty low, but with the rudder shift so bad, you actually need the rudder shift mod too. So it's another choice. There, we got the Dallas. Battleships still have line of sight of. His Annapolis is actually running up much further. We all know on how far he came up. And for some reason, the York is not using his torpedoes. It's doing the opposite of actually using. Maybe he already used his torpedoes and I didn't catch it. Yeah. Normally the Annapolis sits about where those battleships are turning now, and that's where they. That's where he sits. He doesn't come in that far. Or someone kills him before that time. Yes, I'm a bad shot, I know. These guns are actually less floaty than I'm used to. I've been playing a lot of Udachi lately. And here I'm going to send some torps out, hopefully for the New York, but they'll probably miss. And yes, these torps get the nice S curve. Rather, they're not going to miss. That, well, they would miss. But that York decided now is the time. He's been sitting there. Now is the time he's going to move up. Just so he can get in the way of the torps. So I only one of those torps. Now these torps are slow. So I can just aim where the York is and they will miss. But yes, no, well, we're farming down battleships. It's pretty boring. Staying back to not get hit. Oh, well, the first wave of torps they would have missed because they wouldn't have reached the New York in time.
Stations requesting fire support.
And then the Wyoming, he put on his speed boost because bots cheat. And now we have an Omaha shooting at us along with the Wyoming. Okay, so now we're trying to move up to put the there's Phoenix. Put the island between us and the Phoenix and the Omaha. But we don't want to go too far up because we want to keep their broadsides. So we're just putting the island in between. And if you notice, I'm loading AP. I would have swapped to AP earlier, but I don't have expert loader yet. You saw in the beginning, yes, I'm only running with 10 points. I think all of my videos so far have been 10-point captains. So we're in reverse, trying to keep the island as a shield, either to hide us or to block shells from the cruisers. The Omahas out DPM the guns on the Shimanto. Eventually I'll be able to aim and shoot them. We gotta sit it out just as it dies. Did we get the kill? No. I think someone else gets the kill. Yeah. With that one turret, we get one overpen, and then someone else gets the kill. So I'm actually back here, waiting for the second wave of cruisers.
Warship commanders. Transport aircraft have arrived.
Hopefully you don't wait this long and you can kill them faster, because as I see the aircraft coming in, and I realize my mistake. I'm actually throwing one torp at and one torp ahead. I should have actually led them quite a bit further. And here, all I'm doing is trying to get islands in between me and them. At the same time, I want torps off. In fact, what I should have done was one torp ahead of the white line, and then one torp ahead of that, because these ships go 40 knots, at least. As you can see, we get all three of them shooting. And see, I actually don't put out my fire right away, because I want them to swap to AP, and then I want to put it out. But that didn't work, because I got set on fire almost immediately, and now they're just going to shoot AP at me. And so we just want the island in between. The next wave won't come for a little bit, so we can keep that in. And the good news is, on Ultimate Frontier, there's repair circles, so that's what we're going to. And so in this, we're just focusing on turning and dodging, and making sure we don't get flat broadside. Now we got an Omaha. That's one less ship shooting at us. See, I hesitated. It's a good thing, because I actually didn't waste my salvo with a 15-second reload. And then I think yeah, you can still torp them, but I was hoping for citadels like that. And I guess one thing with the long reload is you actually have a lot of time between hitting your shells, shooting and hitting. Your shells are going to hit before you reload, which allows you to lead better against bots, at least. Against players, no. Oh, there's the kill. And from here, we're just going to sit in the hero circle. It's pretty boring because with that much HP. Now, what you don't want to do is make the mistake of just sitting in the hero circle, because as you can see, you can't really shoot anything when you're repairing. You either get to repair or you get to shoot things. With the exception of the wave coming from the right, there's really not much to be able to shoot at. The only ship that can get away with just sitting in the repair circle is a carrier. So we're edging back out to try and see if we can get shots on Whiskey. And we shoot after he's killed. So does nothing, just waste of ammunition, extra service cost. So it's at this point that I decide, once I get out the hero circle, I'm just going to keep going. Because I do have Adrenaline Rush, and Adrenaline Rush helps us, our reload not be so terrible. I think it goes down to like a 12-second reload for us at... slow down, but here's where I decide to just keep going. Because I wasn't going to slow down at the edge. Now for the Ranger's probably already moved along. The Ranger starts moving after he's spotted and takes damage, or there's a timer for it. I think after he takes damage, after he's spotted or takes damage, or there's a time point when he starts to move. And from there, he will go down the south of the map. And as you can see, Ranger's actually all the way at the bottom of the map. And because of that, we will not be able to take care of the Ranger. He's all the way down there, and the only one that could actually go down and get him, our destroyer, because the stealthiest one could actually get past the last wave. He's up here with me, going up towards the base. And actually, those set of torps, I probably shouldn't have sent it at the pin spot. I probably should have sent it at the third wave at the back. Alright, it's okay. Those torps will actually reload, and we'll send that side. What we're doing here is waiting for the broadside. So I sad only 2 citadels and 5 overpens. Wasn't able to delete him. So we're looking at the Colorado because we're actually going to try and get the other set of torps off on the Colorado. And here's where the expert loader would have helped. I would have had HE loaded faster. And I could have put some shots at the kid. Still could have. But here I'm going for torps. And as soon as the torps are in the water, the Colorado slows down. So those torps are actually going to be in miss. And we're not going to get the Colorado. That's one thing about the bots and the ops. They often do a lot of juke. So it's difficult to do torps at from long ranges. Sometimes even close ranges like this when the torpedoes are so slow. see I have AP set up for the next salvo. I'm gonna go after the kid with this salvo. We're looking at aiming to do the Seattle with the next salvo. But someone just slaps the Seattle. So it's not even worth shooting at. So now we're saving our salvo because it reloads so slowly, and the torpedo's about to hit the Iowa. That could actually be an Iowa or a Missouri. What we're doing is well, we were planning on doing an AP salvo in the side of the Colorado, but seeing as 20 seconds left for the torpedoes to reload, I decided to try and get the other side of torps ready. But it's not going to matter because Vlad just got the Colorado, and that's the end of this game. We just have 10 seconds of defending the aerodrome left. If all ships are killed, so the Dallas and the 2 destroyers guarding the Raptor and the Raptor itself, if all of them are destroyed, then the operation ends earlier. So yes, if you kill all the enemies, it does end early. So as you can see, a 4-star victory, 240k, which is not bad, but not great in this very bad boat. Still second in the team. And here's the details of where we did damage. Anyways, if you have any extra questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. Feel free to like and subscribe if you liked it, or don't. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not your mother. With that, I hope to see you again next week.